succeed. But hey, with that way, Farky, I feel like he's set up. I mean, we have highlighted this many times already.
Obviously.
But the composition for Burning Core, I feel like it's just meant to play around this Jace, especially in the early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the other thing is obviously this bot lane in general. This is Dent versus and Yuhi. This is Yuhi's second support game, and his first one on that Leona. I'm gonna be real, Kashka. Wasn't sold. He had the most deaths. He died like 7 times. His engages were really weird. This was like, you know what? It was kind of where I realized I was like, man, I am tough on some of the support players that we have in our region sometimes. I have very high expectations. Alchemy, I apologize. Pooh, from way back when, I apologize, because Yuhi's positioning wasn't so great. And let's be real, Rakan, Kashka, a champion you need to have really good positioning on, I feel.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a reason why you usually tend to go as much tenacity on the champion as you possibly can, is because if you ever get caught out, then that's kind of it. You don't have that great of an engagement when you're isolated from the rest of your team. And yeah, Yuki's gonna have to pull in some work, because he's one of the primary engagers for Burning Core.
I mean, that's absolutely right.
Engage,
Sorry, I'm just trying to do settings things.
That's fine.
Oh, God. Oh. Hello, sir?
He cut out. We got him there for half a second.
Well, he requested me to lower...
A second, that's probably not very good.
Okay, well, we heard that sentence now.
There we go. Well, I'm hoping that it's going to help a little bit more in regards to that. That would be very helpful if I could continue to keep speaking on the stream. I'm getting a little bit of internet issues, currently working off a mobile hotspot, which is, of course, not the best for live broadcast. But speaking of live broadcast, games going into game right now.
We are indeed. Let's see which of these teams is going to pick up their win in the LJL. And there we go. We are on the Rift right now. Both teams just standard cover. Nothing fancy or nothing, well, out of the ordinary.
So I have to then, of course, track what's going to happen with this top side of the map. And yeah, it's both of you highlighted as well when I was taking a quick step out to fix internet stuff. It really is about how these top jungles start to really interact with each other.
Indeed it is. And you can see Flawless making his way down towards the bot side, making sure that he will be up towards the top lane by the time the first clear finishes. Same story actually for Blank by the looks of things, so we will be hopefully seeing some action in the top lane come 3rd minute. And alright, I think I'm...
So...
I think I might just keep talking, because the internet there on the side not necessarily having the greatest time. Oh no, okay, well. Both junglers are starting leashless. I feel like that's something to point out, is that neither team really knows where they are coming from. In Blank, we'll be looking for an early gank. That is the flash root, forces both of the summoners immediately from dice. Really nice and creative setup there from Hawks. Yeah, no, I don't think Nightmare is back yet. I mean, the fact that Burning Core have no idea where Blank was, because, you know, of course, Leashless Star and Vega could be anywhere. Dice, losing both the summoners, and the bigger thing to highlight here, no one really expects the Lysandra to start with the Ring of Frost. I mean, why would you? Most of the lanes, especially if you're into a ranged matchup, not something that you necessarily have to have on the level 1. And that immediately means no summoners on dice, easy picking for the next gank, but it should happen very soon, especially that clients are not on the longest of cooldowns from all the summoners out there in the game. And both junglers making their way up to the top side unimpeded otherwise. Flawless
I am
doing 4
here
camps.
to save you, Kashka. I know
Thank
I
you
would
very
grace you
much.
with my omega brain, truly, to bring a color cast perspective as Flawless comes in for an invade.
Well, he does.
he tried something. He had a thought of something, but he missed the cue. His time was a little bit off, and I mean that's just how it goes at the moment. If Nightmare does have his internet, he will grace us with the angel presence that is himself. But Berlin is doing its damn best to do its internet stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, wasn't meant to be sometimes.
I thought you did. I thought you handled it really well, mate. I'll give you that. I'll give you some on-air feedback.
Hog. We take those. All right, big fight going on in the bot lane. Reiner getting a double knock-up, and let's see if they have the damage to finish off Dent, or at least maybe force some summoners. There goes the cleanse. The ignite was dropped down as well, and 2 summoners for 1. Hawks will take it.
Oh, hell yeah. And I mean, that's on the AD carry. That's the important target to blow all those summoners on. And let's be real, Rakan isn't really a supportive champion that can really protect, unlike Reiner on this Time Kench. So this is just going to emphasize it. Viego also pathing down bot side. Flawless is actually having to hold Shadow, even though he really wants to go top side. Think about it. He's got that golems on the top side. He would love to clear that out. He just doesn't really have the ideal pathing. Dasher was spotted out there. So all the pressure is going to be thrown on this bot lane for probably the next at least 4 minutes. Oh my God, this is pretty gross. But then this is Hawks getting arguably the best bot lane in the game at the moment, Kashka. Expectations should expect this, right?
I mean, yeah, perhaps. Definitely Senna, Tam Kench, you know, if we're in the meta of aggressive ADCs, you can punish, but Jinx, yeah, I don't really think you're matching that, especially the insane amount of sustain that Marble is gonna have with that fleet footwork, which, you know, isn't something I brought up before, but yeah, he's not dropping low, is he?
No, he's not. And I mean, this is the thing that I'm more surprised about more than anything else is Kinatsu is farming relatively comfortably in this Jace matchup, which is not how pre-6 is meant to go. I mean, I say that and then he gets chunked down a bit, so thanks, Kinatsu. But, I mean, hey, he's got 30, 31, 32, he's catching everywhere. He's only really a wave down, yes, which could have been way worse. He could have actually been far more like 2 to 3 waves down. Rayfarki not doing as much punishing as he should have. And he's got no mana man, so he's going to have to recall, and he's gone phase rush, which isn't out of the realm, but I'm not a huge fan of the phase rush just to go a little bit faster. I think the utility that offers is actually not as good as some of the power output you can take with some other runes, personally. The dice!
Yeah, another gang coming through. The cleanse comes out, and the shockwave as well. He is going to be able to just walk away from this one.
Oh my, that was very well played by Dice there. With the cleanse, with the shockwave, didn't have to blow his flash and has got spellbook, so he's going to be able to teleport straight back in. Did miss the cannon, so that feels bad, man, but hey, you take it how it is. And the game's back to a point of arguably parity again. Love how that works.
Yeah, I mean, no kills. The gold is basically even. CS advantages across the lanes somewhat balanced out. I mean, Rayfarki has got the big one that we have mentioned already, sitting at 14, though, you know, arguably not as big as it should be. I'm kind of, I don't want to say disappointed yet because Flawless is in level 6, but like I want to see more action from both these junglers, but especially the Lee Sin.
Yeah, no, this Lee Sin needs to get early aggression because obviously, as you've mentioned, this is what we've seen in like in other regions. I mean, I was watching a bit of the LPL yesterday. I was just having a bit of saucy looking, and like one of the players, I think it was the jungler for RA, so Rare Atom. Is that how they say that? I'm not quite sure.
Know.
Regardless, they had like 5 kills by like the 15-minute mark. They were all over the map, basically. Huge source of pressure, getting all those early ganks in. That's what you need to do as a Lee Sin. That's what Lee Sin has always done. You're not basically just a level 6 champion, unlike Kale or even Viego to an extent. You actually have a lot of utility before you hit that. Yuhi's missing a lot of these knockups, which is a bit sad for him, but hey-ho. But Flawless still not getting anything done, now hitting 6, and Blank being able to relatively farm up, and actually getting almost off a successful gank, remember, on Dice, with that cleanse, with that shockwave that they had to use. I would argue and say Blank has probably done a bit more in this early game, and Viego scales, Kashka.
Oh yeah, absolutely it does. It's a disgusting late game champion, and come on, Flawless. You've got level 6. You've got no excuse now, right? I mean, you said Lee Sin is an early game champion. Now you've got this setup yourself, and You gotta do something with this champion, because why else are you picking Lee Sin?
Because LPL and LCK are picking it, so I want to pick my favorite champion that I've got more games in. I mean, Lee Sin is like the jungle bread and butter, isn't it? Like, you have to learn that champion before you can do anything else, but not really getting much done at the moment. Yuhi hasn't got a sweeper, so at the moment he is just enjoying vision, or rather being on vision, but not being aware of it.
He's sightseeing.
He is. His AD carry reset. He was like, "There's no point." Oh,
okay, there we go. Flash with the kick brings back Kinatsu right into Ray Farky. Dawning Shadow is going to bring down a shield, and Kinatsu getting quite a bit of damage down onto Ray Farky. And there we go. First blood picked up by Burning Core.
yeah, but a lot was used there on that actual kill. Flash from Flawless, obviously had to use their ultimate as well. Did obviously get Kinatsu's flash out, but I mean, Blank is on a Viego, and if Ray Farky feels a little bit saucy, he could take this very quickly. But with creep, with minion damage, respectively also collecting all of that golden experience, which would have probably been worth the kill on Ray Farky, actually, when you calculate it all up together. Probably better to just click the wave.
Yeah, and there we see the setup for the gang. I mean, the execution was clean. As you said, a lot of resources committed down, but it is a kill at the end of the day. Hawks didn't get much in return. The only thing we could really, criticize Burning Core here is why not earlier.
Yes, absolutely. And there seemed to be a huge reliance on actually having the kick from Flawless there. Like, they did ward hop over vision, and Kunatsu was playing a bit further up without any vision, and this was an angle that Flawless could exploit. So fair play to Burning Core, playing around their angles, understanding the max range of some of their stuff. But like, part of that is going to be like, cool, you got a kill on Kale. Okay, so Ray Farky now has a decent CS lead at this moment in time now, 20 CS. What is it going to transition into? Well, it's not transitioned into this dragon, because that's the opposite side of the map. So Blank was able to path down, they were able to secure that, get everything else, because Flawless is now having to clear their jungle, which is what Blank was doing when that gank was happening. So what else are we getting out of this Burning Core? Because getting Kinatsu a bit down is fine, but that wasn't their main priority early game for Hawks. That's their late game insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. And even now, Ray Farky, you can see he's winning the trade, but are you able to force Kinatsu out of the lane? Don't really think so. And even the Herald is sitting in Blank's inventory, so no neutral objectives for Burning Core to be picking up. One good side for them that I do want to point out is the fact that DICE is still ahead in CS despite all the focus that Hawks threw down towards the mid lane.
Well, they're like, hey, if Kinatsu's going to get focused, let's try and focus this bot lane.
All right, Blank looking for the stun, does find it onto you.
Oh my!
Damage and the Heartbreaker to finish off the kill. Hawks on the board, and Dasher, he is a madman diving the 2-2, but it works out in the end.
Well, they already know exactly. Flawless, you went through vision. They know exactly what's going on. Kunatsu just goes, okay, I'll just reset. I'll just take mid farm. Who cares about top? They got first turret in bot side. Everything's going in, and they're like, hey, Marble, Reiner, you want to have that kind of MVP caliber performance we know we can have from you? Dasher, you want to join up with the rest of them? Blank, how does that sound? You want to be the knight again? And they're all like, yeah, let's do this. And Kinatsu's like, guys, I'll just be the role player. Huge performance. And what a paradigm flip from the Hawks there, going, how can we really blow this game up in a way that's favorable to us? Well, I think they just showed it, and having a long lane now for your top laner to have farm in, this is fantastic for Kinatsu. You can have Dasher play the side lane down in bot side, have Kinatsu go top side, and he can just literally farm that lane. And where's Ray Farky gonna go? That's a good angle for them. There isn't a good lane for him now, and it's only 12 minutes in.
Definitely not great, but something that Naimera pointed out when we talked before the game is that in the first game, well, I mean,
oh my god, you said him and he's come back. What is this?
In this play, Blank and Dasher are working together.
Did I pass? Well, I'm going to take my leave now, but thank you so much for returning. And if you do get Berlined again, I'll step back in, sir.
It's a secret TriCast, basically. They're just swapping out the color casters when necessary. Right. Yeah, we've got that Force 2 coming down, but a big shockwave onto 2 is gonna come through, but Dasher going gold and still staying alive, and he's got a Divine Judgment onto himself to devour the Hawks squad, saving their mid laner. Mm-hmm. Dice with that Leandrix as well. I mentioned it when you were in there, but Dice being such a good pressure sponge, it feels like the only thing that Hawks could have done is break open this bot lane. But we look at where we are right now in terms of gold, we're even. In terms of turrets, yeah, okay, Hawks have got that one for their advantage, but that's it.
Lads, we're not hearing you for some reason. Have you guys audio settings changed a little bit?
Both of us, or?
Oh, okay. We just can't hear you, Alex, at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna have another team fight, and Flawless just gets absolutely destroyed. There we go. Pick CC used in the correct way by the Hawks. They get a kill. The question is, what can they get out of it? Well, the Drake is up now. So. Yeah, apparently Nymera can't be heard on this stream. We can't confirm he is alive and well. But yeah, you guys can't hear him, so I will just keep talking over what is going on the screen. Hawks getting that one pick onto Flawless. Absolutely huge returns. They get the mid lane tier 1 and they get the Infernal Dragon. Furthermore, it's the Hextech Drake. I mean, goddamn, I love the Hextech Drake, especially the stacking dragons, the soul. I think everything is great about it. So just right now, that's a huge coin flip going the way of Hawks, I feel like.
Okay, so apparently I'm back for realsies this time. Absolutely no fingers crossed. So this is what happens when the hamster falls off the hamster wheel in the background. In this case, my internet. That's what happens. But we have been, again, just kind of setting the stage for what is, remember, a bit of a grudge match between these two teams. We know that they have been very close in terms of their average finish. They ended up going up against each other in a bit of a death match last playoffs, first round. Burning Core came out on top there, and the Hawks would love to kind of seal a little bit of this head-to-head victory in their own favor for once. Has felt like Burning Core had the upper hand in that matchup just last split, but as it stands right now, you can see that the amount of gold on the top side of the map for Burning Core getting a little bit worrying for Hawks to deal with.
Yeah, second completed item here for Ray Farkey, and he managed to do pretty well for himself. Lexi did say before that Ray Farkey doesn't have a great lane to go into, but it seems that he's been able to do just fine.
So far, so good for them. Again, going to be pushing in most lanes right now as long as you have the vision to really help with that. So let's go track that vision as we go on, because actually Burning Core don't really have that much side lane vision right now, and that's why Ray Farkey has to back all the way off in his side lane. Bot lane in a turret already gone down. The Hawks know exactly what they can do with that elongated lane. Doesn't actually matter if they don't have lots and lots of engage. They have enough lane to run down the Jace in. That means that actually Kanatsu now gets to pick up a few more resources as Hawks have given them a safe lane to push up in.
Yeah, second Herald though used by Burning Core, they will be able to break open this mid lane. This is, of course, big when it comes to setting up for the objectives, which we will be waiting a few minutes. I feel like the Baron might be the earlier one of the two, so the next 2 minutes, likely to just see push, vision control, and let's see if Hawks can find any picks in the meantime.
Well, there is that, but then the Hawks are sat on their own 2 dragons right now. We have seen often that dragon for herald trade. We saw that a lot in spring, but particularly coming into this split, it's felt like a lot of teams have been pretty okay to give up a dragon or 2 and just flip towards that elder. Actually, that can be the point where you're just like, well, okay, this is where we actually win or lose the game. Buy yourself a little bit more time to get some more gold in pocket as it stands. Feels like Kanatsu, as we said, being given that room to farm, will be able to do that. If you start rocking up to an elder later on, even with well, I mean, of course, you have the dragon yourself this time, right? But if you start rocking up to later game objectives with objectives in pocket, these scaling picks start to come really online, and we're going to see a lot of big damage numbers.
That much is for certain. As Rayfarki will flash over the wall. Is enough to get away. Dasher follows it through. The Everfrost finds the root. Blank hops over the wall, and he is going to be able to get the kill. Hawks with the 4th one on the board. I really have to say, I'm impressed with how Blank and Dasher are actually finding those engages together this game.
Yeah, and that was something that we kind of criticized a little bit in game 1 for them. Only one in the
Hawks squad.
In the records right now, but it felt like Dash would find a good engage, but then Blank wouldn't be there. Blank would find a good engage, but then Dasher wouldn't be there. This time, roaming much more as a pick.
All you need to be doing, set up Kanatsu for later on. That being said, the Baron is going to be up in 20 seconds, and you can already see how much vision setup Burning Core are putting in the topside jungle. I think he might be getting interneted again. Yep, definitely getting interneted. Maybe it's going to be back after a few seconds or so. We will indeed see. Hawks pivoting down towards the bot side, of course. If they get this next Hextech Dragon, they will be on the soul point. So let's see if they can get it. Burning Core moving into the river. Getting some vision of their own.
But the problem with the
Baron is definitely
is
very important to get in a situation like that, and both teams just really clearing the wave at the same time. Kanatsu will be splashing in the top lane, does have the teleport to join the fray, and Dasher going for a TP down towards the bot lane. No vision there, so I don't think Burning Core are aware of it. Hawks, do you have a bit of a pincer movement on this dragon? It's down to 2k, down to 1k. It will be secured by Flawless, but the fight now is going to break out. Kanatsu teleports down to the bot as well. Massive knockup coming through, and Dasher picks up the first kill of the fight. Burning Core in the disengage mode. Blank hopes forward with the Heartbreaker. It's a kill for the dragon. I think Burning Core take it. Unless they lose Baron right now. That's actually a very important caveat. But I don't think Hawks are going to quite rush it, so no worries there. And, well, that delays the soul. We are going to take a look at the replay. I like the idea here for Dasher to go for this teleport. There's no vision.
As do I. Kashka, yeah. As do I also like this teleport. The idea execution is great, but I feel like the TP coming in from Kanatsu was a bit late here. The thing is, if Kanatsu was here probably arguably a fair bit earlier, even we're talking 2-3 seconds earlier, he would have been there for at least the initial engage, which would have helped them. I'm not saying secure the dragon, but secure a larger win into this team fight, which could have then, as you had alluded to afterwards, could have turned into a Baron for them, because they are a Baron taking team. Like Kanatsu, with some assistance, they can chain down a Baron without any issue. So bit awkward. Burning Core basically stemming that bleeding for a bit, and I mean, Burning Core have decent scaling themselves. I mean, you just land an Orianna Shockwave and a few Jinx rockets in the background, and you're gonna have a decent combo fight. Like the front to back team fight for the Hawks is pretty disjointed, so it'll be interesting. But I thought you handled it all fantastically, Kashka, with the internet issues we have been having here on the LJL today. Berlin's doing its best.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, places just hate you. Definitely not a superstitious belief or anything.
Just a place in general.
Yeah, just a place. Okay, Dasher looking for yet another ultimate, this time to Flawless, but a total shockwave, and Dasher, he's just dead. Hawks going way too deep on this engage. But Burning Core, they can't follow it through.
No, he can't. And I mean, that was just, again, they did a fight without Kinatsu, or Kinatsu wasn't quite on the same page as the rest of the team. It's very hard to say which it is, because the idea always seems to be there. It's just the timing window is so important when you're playing a champion like Kale, especially when you haven't got your Kraken Slayer as well as also your TP up. The damage output isn't going to be huge, and oh no, Kinatsu.
Gonna get jumped on by Flawless, but nothing decisive. Has got the flash and the ultimate, of course, to play with, so staying quite safe. We are going to take a look at the replay, and yeah, the disconnect. Kinatsu is just taking the turret right now.
Yeah, and then the team decide to go at them. I mean, this is a spot where it is a 4v4. They lost the 4v4 fair and square, and then Rayfarki came in afterwards, which is when Kinatsu basically came in. So, I mean, that was just kind of discoordinated, and Rhino obviously wasn't close enough to eat Dasher, which would have definitely assisted. We did see, obviously, in that prior team fight that you casted, that there was just so much eating and keeping Dasher alive with the Kale ultimate into eating them. Like, it can be very tricky to actually kill a member on the Hawks side if the whole team is on the same page of the Hawks. But Burning Core have been able to find these opportunities around the map where that's not really been a thing. Now, important thing to note is Marble is on this center. And we haven't really talked about the souls. Over 104 souls is now on this, is Marble on at 25 minutes. That's not bad timing. Not great, but not bad considering everything that's been going on in this game. And they've been quietly farming, getting away. They've already got that Umbral Glaive. So, I mean, hey, there's a chance that Marble with Kinatsu, that they can just take the scaling angle.
Absolutely, I do agree.
Some say, I guess.
Though something that I do want to turn it around in terms of quietly farming up, look at Dice. He's 60 CS ahead, 3 items on the Oriana, has got only 1 kill. That was the shutdown found onto Dasher in the last fight. I mean, these shockwaves are genuinely terrifying right now.
I mean, that is an angle. We saw what one shockwave did all that time ago in the mid lane. We haven't really seen Dice land a huge multi-man shockwave, but I mean, it's always on the cards, especially when you group up for a team fight. That's what this Hex Tech Dragon's probably going to be for. Last time, obviously, Burning Core were able to burn it down before all of the Hawks were able to respond. This time, Dasher's in the mid lane. All of the rest of the Hawks are together. I mean, landing a Sonic Blast onto the Big Frog isn't really going to do too much, but we're getting front-to-back team fights, Kashka.
Dasher teleporting behind his own team. No flanks, no weird angles this time around. The Dragon has been aggroed. It is going to hit Hawks, admittedly, not for too much damage. Posturing on both sides. Yuhi has got the flash, has got the ultimate. The Dragon is now getting low. It's going to counter to his fight. It gets to reset.
No.
And Flawless can't finish it quite off. Dice will have to get away. The Dragon, it has been secured by Burning Core. Dasher goes golden in the front line. The Divine Judgment as well, just to keep him alive. And the Rhino with the chase forces Flawless to flash over the wall. Nobody will die, and Burning Core will take the Dragon.
I mean, ultimately, though, if you look at the actual outcome of that fight, multiple summoners were having to be used from the side of Burning Core. Flash from Yuhi, Dice, and Flawless in that team fight. Obviously, the spellbook did help with Dice with that cleanse that they happened to get, so that's at least a cooldown that they'll have back. But I mean, this means that's another Dragon for Burning Core. And imagine if one of those two had been able to go. The reset of the Dragon, though, that's the suckiest thing for Blank here. Just lost the aggro here because Flawless came in slightly closer, which then forces the Dragon to reset to attack the closest target. While that's all happening, though, the rest of the Hawks are going to try and go on to them. But the issue is Dasher went in while the rest of the team weren't quite ready. However, they were able to do what they've done in prior fights before and keep multi-members alive. Flawless obviously flashing away. It's just really unfortunate for the Hawks. There's definitely a kill on the table there. They just weren't quite on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, Dasher went in at the same time Blank went for the Dragon. You can't really fault either of these decisions, but they were not doing the same thing. Now, Baron started out by the Hawks. Burning Core are fully aware of it. You have that control wood in the pit down to 7,000. Then and Rayfarki will be coming through. Dasher looking for the engage, does find the ultimate, and that is Yuki taken down. Big shockwave onto Marble. The rocket from dead. He's going to be able to equalize then without the Senna. I don't know if Hawks will be able to sustain through this whole fight, and they know that themselves. They will not want to spend any more time than necessary.
Absolutely not. And the fact that it ended up being AD carry trade for support there, not an outcome I was really expecting with how that fight began. But oh my god, they go one for more.
Dasher finding another massive root, but Blank on the side, he can't find a way in, taken so extremely low. The Devourer is going to be coming out, but Kinatsu, he can't lay down the damage. Level 14 kill, not hitting quite as hard, and Hawks, they will force away Burning Core from this tower, but that is a string of teamfight losses, if you can call it that.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing that's really weird to look at is obviously when you look at the gold department, they're at parity.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, this game is very close. The issue is, and it's something that I believe Nymera alluded to in the pick and ban phase, is that when it comes for tools for CC chaining and actually controlling how these fights are going to go, you're basically limited to Lissandra, and that's it. Yeah, you've got a slow on Tom Kench with the whiplash, with your tongue. Yeah, you can do something, obviously, with Senna. You can try and throw out your stun. You've got the same with Viego, but that's it. You've got a few stuns if you happen to hit them. You've got a knock up with Tom Kench. You've got a slow with the Tom Kench, and you've got Lissandra's ult. That's it.
Yeah.
That is actually it. Yuhi arguably has all of that just in his one champion. With the shockwave, with flawless, with the kick and everything else, like, and even chompers with for Dian, like for Dead rather, like there's a lot of CC on the side of Burning Core compared to what the Hawks are operating on, and that's really starting to be an exploitative point now for Burning Core in this match.
You can see that Hawks are struggling to move forward. They are struggling to really find their mark in the team fight. Dasher goes in, finds the ult. Great follow up, not necessarily present most of the time,
yeah.
and. Yeah, we look at the levels. Kinatsu very close to level 6. It actually does hit it right now. So let's see if that changes the fortune for Hawks.
We'll have to see. I mean, obviously, this is the angle for the Hawks. We'll scale. We'll just figure out the scale angle. Now, they do imp for scale way harder than the side of Burning Core. They've got a Senna. That's just how this champion works. But I mean, I don't really feel like you want to put all your eggs in just the marble Senna basket. It's not a champion we've really seen him perform on, arguably. Even throughout when he was on V3 Academy, this wasn't really a play. He was playing far more of the hyper carries, big, flashy Jinx, Aphelios-esque champions. So we'll have to see. At this moment in time, though, I think it's not crazy to bet on Burning Core now.
Yeah, they are having just better control of the battleground, it feels like. You look at the exchange that just happened in the mid lane, the range from Ray Farkey able to lay down the Poe from far away. It is going to be both Baron and Dragon on the table, and Hawks, they are looking like they're going to go towards the Baron. Kinatsu tagged by the Shockwave and brought down to half health.
Well, he does have TP, so Kinatsu can very much look to recall and then also come back into the base. But it looks like they're actually trying to say, hey, Burning Core, you guys go take the dragon, get your dragon soul, get yourself to soul point, and we'll take this Baron. But Burning Core understand what's going on here, and they're going to try and bite them.
No Shockwave is the big one, but Dasher on the side, he's half health just by the basic abilities coming out from Dice. The Baron down to 4,000. Flawless is around. He's got the smite, he's got the kick. Dasher is gonna go behind the Baron thanks to the Hex Gates, and Blank just getting brought low by the Baron. Damage Yuki tagged by the ultimate, and Rhino will be able to take him down. Flawless going in, rooted by the Everfrost, and that is 2 kills for Hawks. That is the fight they wanted to take, and they should be able to take this Baron.
And Burning Core, you just kind of walked at them, slowly approaching them. Ho, 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 it's me, Dio. No, it's the Hawks and Kinatsu 16. And Dasher was able to get around the side. And Flawless ulted Dasher into the saving arms of the rest of his team, as opposed to trying to get behind him to kick him in when he was only at like 1/3 of his health bar. So much went wrong for the side of Burning Core. Their token prize, which we can call it, that was the dragon. So they are on soul point, so that it is an angle for them. And I mean, hey, with a Jinx getting all that attack speed, that is fun. But let's talk about this, because you mentioned obviously Dasher got taken super low just from dice and auto attacks, really, and that's what's happening there. But what we really want to pay attention to is just how low this Baron gets, because it really forces Burning Core to make a decision. It's at 3k. Dasher comes around here, but look at Vods, immediately kicks into the arms of the saving grace. But then the whole time, Kinatsu and Marble are just doing all this damage because the rest of the team aren't paying attention to what's actually important. Are you Burning Core? Which allows the side of the Hawks to secure that Baron. And, well, I guess, to use a term which I really don't want to use, Kashka, they flip the switch.
Let's go.
No.
I mean, let's see how much Hawks can do with this Baron, because I am a big fan of hex deck stacking. I genuinely think it's the strongest dragon, individual dragon, especially if you get multiple copies of it, so to say. So Burning Core having 3 hex decks is huge. You mentioned the Jinx, all the extra attack speed, and they're on the soul point as well. So Hawks, they need to get value from this Baron, because if not, when that dragon comes up in the next 4 or so minutes, I am worried. Okay, Dasher is gonna go in again, massive roots, and that is Ray Farkey dead. While number down, Burning Core will have some trouble defending the base, and the siege is laid. The cards are played. Hawks will be trying to take down this Inhibitor and succeed in doing so. Inhibitor sure to follow. Are they going to keep going with this? They are in a 4v5 still for 30 seconds.
I would like them to reset and not get too greedy here. I would really like them to go and join Dasher, which is what they're trying to do here. They're trying to pincer, try and force them out and allow Dash to escort this wave in, so then Dash can get these auto attacks, and now the team feel more comfortable with the wave now coming in mid. They can force that with the Baron buff on Kinatsu, and then they get this bot lane at the same time. They haven't got a wave prep for topside, but hey, you just take getting 2 inhibitors very happily here, and now the side get to reset. And I believe in about 2 minutes, that's when that dragon will be popping up, which basically means these inhibitors are going to be down for while the dragon comes up, which means then basically the Hawks get to secure into soul point themselves. And probably in about 7 or 8 minutes, if this game isn't over and already won by the Hawks, they also have a backup plan with this Dragon of Soul as well.
We're gonna take another look at the engage by Dasher. He just keeps finding those, and the rest of the team is there to follow that. Beautiful stuff from Hawks.
But the other thing, Kashka, in comparison to when those engages were happening, when they were like level 11, level 10, items have come in now.
Yeah.
The Hawks do damage even when they just land a little bit of this chain CC, which isn't much of anything, and I'm still going to criticize them for that. But now when they land a little bit of it, they're able to actually execute, and a few abilities do a lot more than they were doing. So Burning Core, if you get caught out now, the Hawks are willing to just go, dive, and with a 4,000 Baron buff play, I don't blame them, really.
Yeah, no Baron buff though to siege this tower, and against level 18 Orianna from DICE, I don't think you're getting anywhere near that structure, Hawks, but they are just buying time. The dragon is up in 1 minute 30, and Hawks, they're in a position where they could end this game with 1 more fight. They have got there with great engages, they got the Baron buff, you know, it's not necessarily been clean along the way, but they're almost there. They just need to actually finish the game now.
Yeah, they do. And what I actually like about this is there's an extreme slow push happening on the bot side for the Hawks at the moment. They are literally allowing those waves to prep. It should prep, if I wish I could draw right now on the screen. It should prep just above where the opening is for that 2nd tier tower for the side of the Hawks with when these minions meet. So, and yes, perfect. So that's where it's going to meet. Kinatsu is now sprinting around to try and do this, because what they want to do is they want to have a huge wave now going into the side of Burning Core's base, so that basically if they want to contest this, they're sacking this wave and they can't contest for this dragon. They haven't prepped it perfectly, so actually it's not going to work out. I actually wanted Kinatsu just to watch the wave, like just to literally stare at it menacingly, and then to have this 3rd and final wave come in. It's not going to be in a great spot, but I think the side of Burning Core should just sacrifice this and go, okay, guys, you take this dragon, we'll try and prep for Baron and maybe try and find a good spot there. And they do have tools to still do that. We haven't really seen the quickness out from Yuhi really getting on multiple members and really charming everybody. We haven't seen that huge shockwave outside of that one we did see. I'm still waiting to see it, and I mean, that is still an angle for Burning Core. They can still do a huge amount of damage out of just a combo nation play.
Yeah, we just haven't had that connect yet. Death Capital finished for DICE. We've got 3.5 items on Den, so the carries are there for Burning Core. They just need to put the pieces together, and yeah, I mean, I want to see Yuhi on that Rakan get a solid engage into the Shockwave, that definitely would impress me from Burning Core, because despite the fact that it feels like they've been on the back foot this whole game, they're still very much in a position where they can win it.
Yeah, and this is going to be a second game, I'll argue, on Yuhi against a more middle-of-the-pack team, obviously, this time. Not really showing up very high, not really landing those engages, finding they're kind of existing in the game, but not really doing too much. But we'll have to see how this next one goes, because this next team fight could be a shift in momentum, but we'll have to wait and see.
Lola is isolated from the rest of his team. Blank and Dasher will not be chasing him down. Instead, just let the bot wave crash in. The Baron is up, and I mean, there's full vision from Hawks in the top side jungle. Burning Core need to clear out a lot of it, but they're not starting the objective just yet. Okay, I think that is going to be the go button pressed now.
Yeah, and I mean, this is Kinatsu, Marble. This is like they have infinite sustain now with Marble at this point in time. They have the Kinatsu, who also has that incidental heal on Kale. So they can just kind of do this, get it really low, and kind of force the side of Burning Core, or more than anything, Flawless to do something. And look at that!
Oh, Dasher, you are just beautiful, this Lysandra. Double kill going the way of Reina. And that is a wipe. That is a clean fight from Hawks. Triple kill for the Tam Cage. That's the game. That's it.
Huge performance. That knock up, Reina. You actually have a second champion that isn't Rel, where you get to do 3 or 4 man things. It's a knock up on a Tam Cage. That's really hard to do. We rarely even saw Gang do that consistently. The fact is, though, this is the Hawks, and they're turning on Kashka.
They are going to be able to take the win against Burning Core. You have to move. Come on, guys. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Oh, the inhibitors.
Guys, inhibitor.
Inhibitors.
Kill it. There we go.
Okay, they will be able to take this win against Burning Core, getting some revenge for Spring, as they're going to put themselves on the board 1-1.
Well done to the Hawks. This was something we really needed to see from them. This was a moment which could be rather defining, and it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination,